Hello and welcome to Ketter Farms. Today we're going to be checking out the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. This is a device that we have talked about quite a few times on the channel over the last year, and it's something that I've been wanting to try out because I've been wanting to do a realistic farm sim series where we try and do everything as realistically as possible. And for those of you that have been watching the videos, the streams, you know, like as soon as I start getting into having my hand on the steering wheel, trying to use the gear shifter, you run out of hands to be able to also smoothly control the motion with the mouse to move your head around and things like that. And I've just never been able to adapt to using a controller. And so this is going to let me have that full kind of cockpit experience that you see in the live streams, be able to drive with a steering wheel and use my head to, move around and take looks at different directions. And so I've gotten a chance to get this installed and set up, played around with it a little bit, and I have to say I've been really impressed with it. I'm excited. We're going to be running a new realistic series with this device here on the channel very soon. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the device. I'm going to do an unboxing, show you what's in the box. It's really straightforward. Took me less than 10 minutes to get it set up on my computer and running in FarmSim, doing all the configuration. So we're going to walk through all of that real quick. I'll show it off in game and let you guys take a look at it. And if it is something that you decide that you are interested in, there's going to be 2 links in the description of this video. The first is going to be a sweepstakes that's going to allow you to enter into that and potentially win a Tobii Eye Tracker 5. And I think they're also giving away 5 base game keys for Farming Simulator 22. So if you haven't gotten Farming Simulator yet, there's an opportunity to get a copy of Farming Simulator as well. And then we're also going to have a second link that's going to provide a 15% discount code if you do decide that you want to buy a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 after watching this video. For me, I have eyeglasses and things, and I was worried that it wasn't going to work. With a little bit of configuration going through the setup, I got it working really well for me, and I've been really happy with it. I can't wait to start using this in videos and on stream. So we'll show off my setup. I've got a couple of cameras set up today, and so I'll show the whole thing off. As many of you on the channel know, I'm set up in a basement. I don't got a lot of light down here at times, especially when I'm recording in the evenings at night and things like that. And so this thing has definitely impressed me. I was skeptical going into it, but now I'm looking forward to adding this to our standard set of accessories that we use in the videos and live streams and stuff moving forward. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the unboxing, and then we'll jump into setup and gameplay. Now, I've already had this open. It comes in a nice, simple packaging, and so we're going to just jump on in here and yank this thing out. It's really straightforward here. We've got the bar right here in the center packaging, and it's got quite a long cable, as you can see here. And so this is going to make it very handy for getting things hooked up to the computer. And then if we just get some of this packaging out of our way here, the rest of it is down here in the box, which I actually haven't gone into. We've got our repair support, warranty stuff. Awesome. We'll get all of this stuff out of the way, and let's get started. Open up this packaging real quick. We've got super simple directions, and it looks like the connector for the monitor. Another style connector, maybe? Oh, it's the magnetic bar here. I think this and this just snap together. Oh, perfect. So you can switch it between monitors if you want, which will be super handy for me because I've got 2 PC setups. We've got some surface cleaner. Awesome. That'll come in handy for making sure our monitors are ready to attach. And then we've got this is just a USB extender cable. We're actually probably going to need this for my setup where we're going to put this thing. So we're going to take that out of here, take that with us. Oh, we've got 2 of these little metal bars. And if I just look real quick here at our instructions, you can see essentially wipe it down, stick it on, attach the bar. Pretty easy. Once we've got it attached, this is for like using on a laptop. Awesome. All right, well, I don't think we're going to end up putting it on a laptop, but we are going to hook this up. So let's go ahead and get this mounted, and we will be back here in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and wipe down the bottom of this. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to attach it just yet. I think they want me to put it center to the monitor. And the unique thing about my setup is that the monitor is slightly off-center to where I sit, for better or worse. But I think it's more important that it is centered so that it knows where I'm looking in relation to the monitor. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, with the monitor all cleaned off, we're gonna go ahead and grab the eye tracker deal. I'm gonna take the 2 protective strips off the bottom here, and I'm gonna do my very best to get this lined up. Now, if I remember right, it's gonna snap on like so, and I think I want this just far enough forward that it doesn't clip onto my monitor here. So I'm gonna actually attach this thing with the Tobii on it to make sure I can get it far enough forward. I think that's good. And then I'm going to take that back off, and I'm just going to apply some upward pressure here to make sure that those sticky pads are on there real good. I've got a nice wide spot on the bottom of this TV here. There we go. I feel like that's on pretty good. We are ever so slightly off center. Awesome. So with that, you can see here the cable goes off on the right-hand side, but my computer is actually way over on the other side of this desk. So we're going to actually grab that extension cable, and that's going to get me down here onto the floor, where I have a handy USB 3 hub. So let's see how this works out. All right, so I've gotten ahead and got the Tobii all plugged in here. It pops up with this Tobii experience thing, so we're going to go ahead and just get started. And I'm going to have to accept the license agreement, no big deal. And now it wants me to figure this out. If you haven't attached it to the display, now is the time. This display here, because I have multiple monitors, and it wants me to move the lines to mark the tops of your eye trackers. So there's little white lines on the top of my Tobii eye trackers. So I'm going to line these up as best I can. That way it knows where it is and how far away it is from me. Something about like so. Looks good. Sit in an upright position in front of the screen. Oh man, they're going to grade my posture. These are your eyes. Ooh, nice. Ooh. Okay. Where'd they go? Okay, I can look off quite a ways. Okay. Lean back. Yeah, they're grading my posture. Look at each dot until it explodes. It's kind of a fun game. All right, calibration successful. We'll stick with our standard names. Oh, there we go. I can turn on the eye tracking thing. That's really cool. So this is a feature called Gaze, where you can see where you're looking on the screen. Now, I noticed on my left-hand side it was having a little bit of an issue because my mic, I think, was blocking the sensor. So we've adjusted that a little bit. Looks good. All right, I'm going to turn that back off. We'll use that when we're in the game here. Really interesting setting. I know some people that have like a lazy eye or something where one eye doesn't always track very well, and so they have the ability to track left or right eye only, which is a really interesting setting. Good deal. Now, I've got a Stream Deck here that I use for things. I'm going to go ahead and install the Tobii Ghost plugin on my Stream Deck, and this is going to enable me to turn that ghost tracking on and off. And so I'm going to go ahead and just drag this enable ghost tracking right onto my Stream Deck here. This is my kind of standard Farm Sim GPS layout. And now I've got this button here, which should let me just flop that on and off when we're in the game. Now, in addition to the software we just set up, which was essentially this Tobii Experience driver, I've gone to the website. There's two other small pieces of software that you can optionally install. This is the Tobii Ghost software, which is what's going to allow me as a streamer to show where I'm looking on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and download that and get that set up here real quick. It's going to go pretty quick. And we've also got the Tobii Game Hub, which is not necessary for Farming Simulator 22, as I understand. All the settings are in game for enabling that. But this is going to let you potentially configure the Tobii eye tracker with different applications. So I'm going to just go ahead and download both of these softwares. We'll see if we need them. I know at a minimum I need this Tobii Ghost, though, to set up and run that on my Stream Deck so I can turn that Ghost feature on and off in OBS. Most people aren't going to have to worry about either of these pieces of software, but I wanted to mention that they're here on the Tobii website if you just go to the download section, and very easy to get those downloaded if you need them. So now that we've got the Tobii eye tracker installed, all we need to do is inside the game, we're going to come under options here and we're going to scroll, where is it at? Right here, and make sure that head and eye tracking is turned on. And that is all we've got to do to get that working for us. And then we're just going to go ahead and jump into a game here. I've got a test save that I had running for something here, and we'll jump in here and check it out. And I've got the eye tracker turned on right now. One thing that I was actually worried about with this is, was this going to be on and doing weird things when I was just walking around, but it doesn't. It's only when you're in a vehicle, which makes total sense. That's when you'd really want head tracking on. However, we do have this ghost tracking that I can turn on so you can see where I'm looking. So, you know, it's kind of cool. It's hard for me to see the monitor, so I can't see how well it's doing for you guys. We'll look in editing, but I think it's going to be pretty good based on what we've got. You know, here I'm looking at the truck, you know, over here at the bins, you know, the barns, the info at the top right of the screen, you know, down towards the map. And so this could be a really cool feature during live streams and stuff when I'm talking about stuff. You guys know me, I like to move my hands around and point at things. That doesn't work real good when I don't have the camera on, though. So this is going to be pretty cool. The one thing that's a little weird with it is I notice I look down at my Stream Deck and things like that quite a bit. So we'll see how that's going to work as we get into driving a vehicle here. So let's go ahead and jump into this Max Superliner we've got right here. We are going to use some modded vehicles today just to see how this all works out. And again, I'm looking down at my keyboard to see where Alt-0 is so I can get everything set up. And, you know, as you can see from a streamer perspective, some of that's going to be disorienting from a video thing. But as I get into playing now, and I'm just sitting here in the truck kind of looking around, you can see I'm the kind of guy, my eyes like to dart around a lot. If I turn on the ghost tracking here, you can see I'm like looking all over the place at stuff. And the eye tracking part does actually move the view a little bit to center towards that, which is actually kind of cool because it makes it easier to look in at something and have it kind of start to move into where the center of your view is. And then if I move my head, we can actually look out the windows here, which I think is really cool. This is something we always run into the traffic problems when we're heading out to a road, and I'm like running all over the place. I'm trying to find my gears here. Let's see, gears up. So for me as a content creator, the one thing that I'll have to keep in mind when I'm doing this is to make sure that we're, you know, not looking off screen a lot. That might get a little bit confusing, but for just driving around, this thing is pretty awesome here. I did turn the ghost tracking off for a second. I was just kind of curious to get a view of what things are going to look like. And this is pretty cool so far. I have to admit, I'm really excited. I think we're going to be doing a full playthrough where I force myself to stay in cab as much as possible. The trick here is not to use the mouse. I'm so used to reaching down for that mouse, you know, and I can even look over here and look at my mirrors, see that we're not hitting anything on the turn. Quick glance down to find the gear shifter. And we're off to the field now. This is apparently a save I had for a course play tutorial or something. We've got a bunch of equipment down here in this field. So we're gonna jump down here, and I'm gonna turn this eye tracking thing back on. And you guys can see me look all over the place, see what we're focusing on. Definitely not any road signs. We don't care about the speed limits here on Carrick Farms. But we're gonna pull on into this driveway now. And I'm just gonna park this truck right on out here alongside the edge of the field, and we'll go grab a combine. I really want to see what this is gonna look like when we're in a piece of equipment and having to manage that. So we're out here. I've got a 9860 all fired up and ready to go. Let's get this set up. All right, there we go. I think I've got everything all fired up. So we're gonna go ahead and start moving forward here. Now I've got to make sure we're keeping these snouts between the rows, and I have to say this is interesting. I'm sorry, I'm looking around to turn on the eye tracking. I can now look out my side windows here and check on the edges, which is going to make opening up fields a lot easier. That's always been my problem with trying to do this stuff before, was I felt like I was always struggling to find all the controls, and now I'm able to just look around and see what we see. Looking good. I think I missed a row over there though. Very interesting. And yeah, I'm leaving that ghost tracking on right now just so you guys can kind of see how that affects, you know, where you look. And we should have a camera on here. We'll see how this goes during editing. I'm recording a camera behind me. You guys can see my nice shiny balding spot coming in here. As far as how much I'm moving my head as I do some of these things too. It's really interesting to me to just kind of feel the difference between what happens if I sit still and move my eyes a little bit around to check on things versus if I move my head. Like, in fact, I should be able to, you know, swing around and see that my grain tank is almost fully empty. Oh my goodness. It wouldn't be a Carrick Farms video without a crash counter. So that's pretty cool. Oops, I didn't mean to shut it off. We're almost full here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this thing right out here into the middle, and let's see what this would take to empty out. Now I am purposefully using a piece of modded equipment here. I think that one has the camera set just a little bit high in the seat. Let's jump into this other tractor. I'm going to run out and grab a grain cart. I think I've got a grain cart and a gravity wagon sitting at the end of this field. Let's jump in here and we can actually go see if I can hook this thing up and see how backing up in a piece of equipment is going to work, because this is the real test of being able to use this eye tracker. Is can I look behind me and hook some equipment up? All right, so we are here down behind these gravity wagons and such. I'm gonna try this out now. So we're gonna turn our head here, we're gonna look behind us, and I'm gonna try and back this thing up here. And I don't remember if I have manual attach on here or not. Oh, we don't. And so it doesn't like fast movements. If I jerk my head all the way back and around really fast, it doesn't gather it. It's like if I move my head nice and smoothly to the back, it'll like slowly get farther and farther back there for me. And so that might take just a smidge of practice, but honestly, I'm kind of surprised I can swing around like that. I kind of wonder if that mod that lets you look around a little bit more and it moves in a more natural head type movement would interact with this Tobii eye tracker well. That would be something worth checking out. But I mean, I can clearly, look around me pretty good. I can get a good view behind, which is going to be useful if we're unloading, say, a grain cart. In fact, let's do that. Let me go forward here. We're going to go and hook up to this grain cart real quick and see if that's a little bit more interesting of an experience here real quick. So once again, I'm just looking to the side here a bit, backing up, getting lined up. I can't quite look down behind me. I don't think that's a limitation so much of the Tobii eye tracker as just where we're set up here with this thing. And now that we're going, I'm going to go ahead and run out here. We're going to get some corn in this grain cart, and then we're going to see if I can unload this into a semi, because that's going to be pretty epic. This is a job I actually did on the farm quite a bit, And I have to say, this is bringing back the nostalgia, something fierce. Being able to just run out here with a grain cart and run up alongside a combine and actually do this for real. And, you know, again, the problem with trying to do this before was I always found the mouse controls really awkward for trying to control my views. And so being able to look around here with the Tobii eye tracker is really cool. So here we are, we're gonna come right up under the spout. And unfortunately, I don't have the combine running. But as you can see, I can look all the way behind me, see that we've got it right under there. It's ready to be unloaded. This is quite awesome. And then just from in cab here, you can see, you know, I can look out the window. We've got the corn coming out of the spout there. And so if I was running on the go here, playing, you know, multiplayer or something, I could look out the window nice and easy, check back down on my corn rows. I mean, we've got it all figured out. I can even look behind me, see the corn going down in the tank. I mean, this is just really immersive. I have to say, I'm impressed. I didn't think it was going to work this well. And one thing that I've noticed, I think I mentioned it in the intro a little bit, is wearing my glasses. Sometimes I get a little bit of a jitter there. If I actually take my glasses off, one of the problems that I've noticed, or not problems, but one thing I noticed is if you're someone like me that goes between contacts and glasses often, I think it works just a little bit better without my glasses, but I have to re-go through the calibration if I remove my glasses, because the reflection of the light in my particular setup, the Tobii eye tracker has that really quick calibration we went through where you stare at the dots and it takes, you know, less than 30 seconds. If you're like me and you're somebody who's going to play sometimes with contacts in or sometimes with glasses, it might be beneficial to just jump into that calibration one more time and run through that if you switch. I have found that really sharpens things up and makes it respond a whole lot better to my eyes when I do those kinds of changes. I believe they also recommend, if you have like a huge change in the lighting situation in your play area, that you can also do that and rerun through that calibration. I love that it's such a quick calibration too. So now that we've got a little bit of corn here in the grain cart, we're going to go ahead and try and unload this. We're going to see just how good it works for us. This particular setup, this tractor is probably a little small for this big tracked grain cart, so I'm not quite able to see my spout there. Let's see. Yeah, I can't quite see the end of the spout, so we're just going to have to wing it here. Oh, there we are. We're dumping the corn off the side, but as you can see, I can kind of look back here and get a good view of where everything's at. There we go. If I turn a little bit, I can see the end of that, and I'm already out of corn. Nice. Well, this was just a quick impromptu test. You can see if I jump out of the vehicle, we do lose the head tracking, but we can still turn on the eye tracking. So as we're talking about things, you know, a lot of times during streams and stuff, I'll be like, oh yeah, and that field over there, and now you can actually see where I'm looking. You know, we can talk about the gravity wagon sitting down over there, stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm pretty impressed with this so far, and like I've said a couple of times already, we are going to be doing a whole series with this Tobii eye tracker. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go from start to finish all the way through on a farm, try and do everything in cab. We'll see how far we make it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And don't forget about your chance to win a Tobii eye tracker by following that link to the sweepstakes, or the 15% off code. If you've seen this video and you think that's something you want to buy, definitely jump on that deal. It's for a very limited time there, from the 13th of June all the way up to, I think that the discount runs through the 3rd of July. The sweepstakes does end on the 2nd of July though. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick look at the Tobii eye tracker. If you did, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Kedrick out.